Are we branches of the true vine, or grafted in branches? Throughout this video, Yahushua's words are written in red, whereas Paul's words are written in purple. Purple was chosen as Lydia heeded Paul's words, and she was a seller of purple linen in Thyatira. Branches of the true vine. John 15, 1-17. I am the vine of truth, and my Father is the husbandman. Every branch in me that bears not fruit he takes away. And every branch that bears fruit, he purges it, that it may bring forth more fruit. If a man abide not in me, he is cast forth as a branch, and is withered, and men gather them, and cast them into the fire, and they are burned. Ye have not chosen me, but I have chosen you, and ordained you, that ye should go and bring forth fruit, and that your fruit should remain. That whatsoever ye shall ask of the Father in my name, he may give it you. Grafted in branches. Romans 11, 11-31. For if the first fruits be holy, the lump is also holy. And if the root be holy, so are the branches. And if some of the branches be broken off, and you, being a wild olive tree, were grafted in among them, and with them partake of the root and fatness of the olive tree. For if you were cut out of the olive tree which is wild by nature, and were grafted contrary to nature into a good olive tree, how much more shall these, which be the natural branches, be grafted into their own olive tree? What is grafting? Grafting is a horticultural technique whereby tissues of plants are joined so as to continue their growth together. The upper part of the combined plant is called a scion, while the lower part is called the rootstock. Grafted olives are generally considered to be weaker than rooted cutting, and some rootstocks can spread disease. Back to Romans 11. A wild olive branch grafted onto a good olive tree can only produce the same fruit of the wild olive branch, not the fruit of the good olive tree, rootstock. For example, a peach scion that is grafted onto a plum rootstock will always continue to produce peaches. The scion can never produce plums. Peach scion produces peaches. Plum rootstock produces plums. How can we be grafted in? That means we are still bearing the same fruit as before. The wild scion will never bear the fruit of the rootstock. It will only bear the fruit of the wild tree it originally came from. If a scion was a peach and it is grafted, it will still produce peaches. Are we grafted in, as Paul says, to bear the same fruit? Strong's Concordance shows us the definition of each word. Let's look at the definition of graft, or grafted, in Romans 11 verse 24 KJV using Strong's Concordance. Encontrizo, G1461, means graft or graft. This means to cut for the sake of inserting a scion. From encontrizo, clicking on the root word, kentron, G2759, is defined as a sting, and comes from kentio, which means to prick. A Google search of the Greek meaning of kentron means something with a sharp point, such as a spike, spire, sting, quill, or thorn. Kentron can also mean a torture device or instrument of motivation, such as a whip, gourd, nail, or rivet. G2759 and sting is used in 1 Corinthians 15 verse 55, 1 Corinthians 15 verse 56, Revelation 9 verse 10. All these scriptures have a negative tone. G2759 and prick is used in Acts 9 verse 5, Acts 26 verse 5. All these scriptures have a negative tone. If the etymology of G2759, sting or prick, relates to a negative tone in scripture, then why does G1461, graft, have a positive tone in scripture? How can believers be grafted in? Being a wild scion on a good rootstock means a wild branch still continues to produce the same fruit before being grafted. The grafted branch still produces wild fruit. How come graphene sounds a lot like graphene? Our Father created all plants perfectly. Why do we believe we can mix species of plants better than our Creator? Back to John 15. I am the vine, ye are the Nazarene branches. He that abides in me, and I in him, the same brings forth much fruit. For without me ye can do nothing. Yahushua says we are Nazarene to bear new fruit of the true vine. Once we are born again, we become a new Nazarene branch of the true vine and bear new fruit. Yahushua says our withered branches are pruned and cast in the fire, so we produce more fruit from the true vine. A new branch sprouting from the true vine will have the same characteristics of the true vine. Herein is my Father glorified, that ye bear much fruit. So shall ye be my Talmid disciples. G5342 translates to Netza and means a branch or shoot, often symbolizing new growth or descendant. Yahusha says a new branch sprouting from a true vine will have the same characteristics of the true vine. He that saith he abideth in him ought himself also so to walk, even as he walked. Then Yahusha said to his Talmid, if anyone wants to come after me, let him deny himself and take up his stake and follow me. Are we branches of the true vine, or grafted in branches? Disclaimer. Thanks to Sweet Out by Jenny for providing the detailed animations. Follow us on YouTube, Facebook, and Telegram.